3 weeks left to make this Irish cottage habitable.
And somehow, in the middle of mistakes and delays,
this old stone farmhouse gets a bit of a glow up.
filthy. The maximum faffage of all jobs.
Let me bring you up to speed super quick. So the plastering, still on hold, nobody's fault, is what it is. The bath should have been here, isn't. And to top things off, I made a mistake with the kitchen.
So there are some jobs which are more faff than others. Some jobs are maximum faff, and bathrooms are up there with the maximum faffage of all jobs. Bath tap, plumbed in, maximum faff. Shower mixer valve, nearly plumbed in, maximum faff. Manifolds, plumbed in, maximum faff. Doesn't get any more faff than bathrooms and plumbing. Ooh, sexy tap. So that is the bath tap, all ready to rock and roll. It's currently got all of its guts exposed, and it will have for a long time until it's all tiled, which is probably a good thing because then I'll be able to check for any leaks. The shower valves, I put them here, I put them in situ a week or so ago, and I've just kind of left it to dwell a bit, and then I've finally hooked up the feed, the hot and the cold feed. There's one outlet which is going to be going to a ceiling mounted shower head, and that's not going to be plumbed in for a while, so I'm just going to leave that be. And then there's going to be a main outlet which is coming from here. That'll be on a standard shower rail setup, and that's maximum faff because, well, I haven't got the shower rail in position yet, but it'll be mounted on the cement board. I've got to cut out my holes for the mixer valves for the taps. Then I need to mount the shower rail in the right position, and I've got a fancy shower rail. When I say fancy, I mean maximum faff. So yeah, that's a project for another day. Finally, the hot and cold have been hooked up and I'm ready to test the outlet here, so let's give it a go. Hopefully there's no leaks. If there are any leaks, I've got the wet and dry vac on standby, ready to rock and roll. So let's get you in an appropriate position. Will that work? Are you going to fall to your death? Stay.
Morning gang. So today, as the sun is, well, somewhere there behind some high level clouds, as it's sort of out, and it's not going to rain apparently, I'm going to tackle, where are they? The appendages. So these 3 white UPVC things that jut out from various angles of the cottage are not very pretty. They don't tie in with the aesthetic. We will be lopping them off at some point in the future, but that is definitely not this year type of problem. But I don't like the fact that now that we've had the windows replaced, that they look even more janky. So I'm going to give them a wash, and then the plan is to paint them.
That's what I need to do. Cold feed activated. I hear running water and it's really disconcerting. Okay. Manifold, small leak. Click. Hopefully that is it. Attempt number 2. No. Still leaking. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Attempt number 3. Not happy. What is going on? Ooh. Attempt number 4. Sealed. Nearly. Attempt number 5. Sealed. Now for the real test. It works! Oh, that was a relief. And there's no leaks. Ooh. Success!
So in other news, the bath has arrived. It's getting... it's the sink.
Hello folks, so little update for you. I'm seeing as I've filmed very little because it's mostly just been quite boring. So we have the little shelter, I say little, it's actually quite substantial, the shelter for the ground source heat pump. So when the heating engineers turn up on Wednesday, exciting, and they've got somewhere to house the expensive heat pump. I had some leftover OSB and some 2x4s, so very simple little shelter. Had to buy the roofing new, but otherwise these are just temporarily sitting on top of the roofing because the roofing's not actually screwed down yet. You can be dismantled in 4 screws at the moment, which is quite handy. So yeah, little ground source heat pump shelter shed. I didn't film it. Does anyone really want to see a man build a box? I don't think it's particularly interesting content, so. But that's the finished product. Here's what I made earlier. What else has been going on? Just along the perimeter of all of the walls, where the floor meets the wall, and we've got the 25mm inch thick of insulation upstand all the way around the perimeter so that the heated floor slab doesn't come in contact with the wall. So that insulation perimeter was kind of poking up. It had some excess just kind of sticking up. So this room is complete, as in I have already trimmed flush with the floor any excess insulation. I did that in the ensuite several weeks ago before starting to install the bits and pieces in there. And then the remaining room, the lounge, is to be done. And you can see it's just got the excess just kind of poking out of the ground. So a couple of inches of the foam expansion joint with the DPM underneath the screed, and then the PIR insulation poking up about an inch. So I'm just going to get my Stanley knife and just trim it flush with the floor all the way around the perimeter. That'll be the floor ready to be tiled, and then that'll be the walls ready to be plastered. So this is a detail my plasterer doesn't yet know, so I'm not even sure if I want to fit skirting boards yet. What I might do is get the plasterer to plaster the finish right down to the ground, flush with the ground, and then tile butted up against the wall. And all being well, if we make those 2 jobs a neat and tidy job, there shouldn't be any need for skirting to hide that joint. I don't know, we'll see. It's surprisingly slow going. You'd think it would just be a bada bing bada boom, but it's not, as with all these things. Oh, interesting. So the kitchen sink, which will be in that kind of area there, in the temporary long-term kitchen has arrived, so that's ready to rock and roll. And then these 3 boxes here are actually pine cabinets, which we're going to use for the temporary long-term kitchen in here. I might assemble one of those because one of them's going to house the actual sink, so it'd be good to kind of get eyes on that little project. The last couple of weeks, which has been a couple of weeks longer than I was expecting it to take, have been in the bathroom, as you know. One remaining piece is the bathroom sink. I'm not desperate to install that. There's no pressing need to get that in ASAP. In the ongoing drip saga, so all of the hot outlets are all drip free now, but I've now got with plumbing in the shower valves, this really tight copper bend here. I think it's not happy. Well, it's not that don't think it's happy, it's definitely not happy. So you can actually see that some slight weepage has caused. You can see this timber frame is actually starting to wick up some of the drips. Yeah, I'm going to need to fettle that at some point, which is a bit of a pain. Got to undo and redo some work. I'm going to crack on with this perimeter insulation trim and get this project going.
Last bit. This is taking way longer than I thought. I've been here for hours. I think it is going to be worth it, but wow. I optimistically thought I'd do all the windows today. Oh. What's it time for?
It's time for Comment of the Week.
So, it's comments of the week because I appealed to the hive mind for some suggestions of how the heck we deal without a mudroom and one entrance. Is it one entrance? More on that later. We were inundated in the best possible way with so many good ideas, weren't we? So we had people suggesting pop a shower tray in the entrance.
Interesting.
Like that. Lots of folks suggesting some kind of lean-to shed situation outside. One of our viewers was sad that the appendages aren't made out of something useful like steel or aluminium and glass that we could have disassembled and reassembled around the front. That would have been good. Lots of folks with some really handy suggestions about boot trays and what do they call, like frontless sort of wardrobe situations with coat rack and boots.
Thanks so much for your great suggestions, guys. It's given us lots of food for thought. So yeah, we'll be chewing that over and definitely using one of your suggestions.
Or many.
Or many.
Yeah, watch this space and see what it is that we choose. Oh, just shout out to this comment referring to me as a bandit and wearing a bandit's disguise while I was hoovering the ceiling the other week. That really made me chuckle. Thanks for your comments, guys. Helpful and hilarious. Morning all. Look, doesn't it look so much better? I think so. It's going to look even better once the inside of the windows are clean, but no point doing that until the plaster is bit. Today's job is this one.
So, coffee in hand. The plastic sheeting that's been covering the new screed has been down for many more weeks than I originally intended. So I put it down originally just to give it a little bit of help the screed cure properly. I've left it down because we have no mudroom and we're going in and out here to the utility, you know, while I'm continuing to work on the house and carrying in loads of dirt and filth and mud on our feet. So it's been handy to keep off all of the dirt from outside off a brand new floor. I mean, this little patch here has already seen some abuse, as you can see. Nice Wellington's collection. So brand new floor, already absolutely battered with filth, and that's where our kitchen's going. I'm trying to get to a stage where I can pull up this plastic sheeting without being paranoid about getting the floor completely filthy. And one of those steps is to actually clean this ceiling. So the ceiling is going to be left exposed for a while. Corey's already given it a pass with the Hoover, but I'm going to give it a second pass and actually mop it, because, you know, who doesn't mop their ceiling? I mean, in this case, we can be forgiven. There's decades worth of crud just kind of built up on the joists and the underside of the floorboards there. Well, not just decades worth of crud, but also several years worth of construction dust just gathering up there. So I'm going to mop this ceiling, and then this room will be in a kind of appropriate state for me to pull up this sheeting. Then we're just going to have to treat it less like a construction site and more like a home. I guess there's a sliding scale there, isn't there? At what stage do you actually stop treating it like a building site and more like a home? Because it still looks like a building site to me. So I guess that's the challenge, is start to get into the mindset of this is now becoming less of a building site, more of a home. Job number 2 is I want to get one of the 3 temporary long-term kitchen cabinets constructed, so that I can kind of, we can get a feel for the size and how it's going to fit in the kitchen space. And also I'm going to be installing the butler sink in there. So that's the modest aspirations for today. This afternoon I'm going to go help a neighbour, so got a good few hours this morning, so I'm going to crack on. So if you've ever wondered what a 100-year-old Irish stone cottage ceiling gathers over that period, the mop heads tell the entire story. Filthy!
We're going to be putting a temporary, long-term temporary, as Kayvan would say, kitchenette in this alcove appendage area. And Kayvan tasked me with figuring out what I want to put in there, measuring and ordering. And that's where my mistake came in. I don't know what went wrong. I ordered 3 cabinets thinking they fit in a certain way. They don't. And so now I need to remeasure and figure out something else. It's a really awkward space because it's not made to be a kitchen. It's tight. There's a lot of corners. And if we don't think of them carefully, we can end up with a lot of dead space. And we don't want to be spending a ton of money on it. So we just want something serviceable for now in there until such time in the future that we're ready to build an extension off of this cottage with a big kitchen diner. So now I'm back to the drawing board. It's a really awkward space. So I'll show you. So he filmed himself mopping the ceiling, but he did not film himself actually he's built the first cabinet here, so I'll pop in some footage of that. And he had to amend it to fit our sink, so that's been done. So the sink is in situ, I think he would say, but something at least. But that's as far as we've got for a kitchen for now. Could it be? I'm thinking.
I hope it's not as heavy as it says it is.
Gonna need to call in the mates.
I also hope it's a centimetre or 2 narrower than it says on the diagrams.
We have to be shaving away some of the walls to get it in.
Or the bath.
You never learned, woodwork or anything in school, but you just
picked it up, did
picked it up.
All the screws have sheared off.
Oh,
The colour's lush.
is it? Let me see. This doesn't pick it up at all. Oh, wow. Oh, it looks so nice.
Maybe a good sign. I'm going to put half of it. Ooh, that's not much of a bath you're having today.
Interesting week this week. More delays. I was going to explain actually the delay on the bath this part of the day. It's actually kind of our fault or our location's fault. So we live in a mobile phone black spot. If you tried to phone us on our mobile phones, we wouldn't know. It rings on the other end and just nothing happens this side. Evidently, the courier company for the bath had been trying to phone us, leaving voicemails. We were completely unaware until we left the property, and then I was like, oh no. So yeah, a bit of a snafu on that side, but just so pleased it's finally
here.
It's here.
It has arrived, and it is a thing of beauty.
It's a thing of beauty. Can't wait to be able to show these. I can't wait to be able to see it fully myself. Show these guys when it's in situ. Hey,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And also there was the mishap with my measurements. The last time I was put in charge of measuring and ordering something, I was thinking this morning, it was about 20 years ago when we moved into our first flat and I had to order the fridge, and it was a really narrow slot for this fridge in our already tiny kitchen. I was in such a tiz trying to make sure that was right. I completely forgot to take into any account the height, so it came too tall. Do you remember?
It was on the first floor as well, so it was only until it was ready to slot in did we realise.
Yeah. So this is why I'm not in charge of measuring and ordering things. So, look, we had a couple of concerns or queries in the comments, so I thought we'd actually just talk about them now, because we're going to do, when we get out of this these few weeks, we're going to do a video just recapping what our plans are next for the cottage, because in 3 weeks this cottage is not going to be done. I cannot stress that more highly. It's going to be barely habitable. So lots of people wondering why we're doing things in a, pardon the expression, arse about face kind of way. Like, why are you putting in the toilet when the floor's not down? Why are you putting in the bath when it's not tiled?
Because we don't have time.
There's no time.
So yeah, we're gonna be I think it might even be called a builder's finish. We're going to be getting the cottage to a builder's finish. Anyway, so the important thing is that it's actually, we can reside in the space and we can have basic facilities.
Yes.
Aesthetics don't come into that. Tiling doesn't come into that. Carpets,
Painting.
yeah. So we'll be doing a few bits and pieces which are contrary to that, like we've been painting the outside.
Yep.
But there's good reasons for that. You know, whether if we didn't do it now, we wouldn't be able to do it until next spring at the earliest.
Yep.
But inside, as you guys can see or have seen from our vlogs, like we are a long way from being finished in what most people would consider a habitable home.
Yes.
But for us, it's about getting out of the caravan into a stone building so that we can, with a heating system, whether it's our stove, whether it's the heat pump when it eventually gets commissioned and turned on.
A flushing toilet, a plumbed bath.
Yeah, so all, you know, we just need the basics in place, and we're gonna move in.
So we need that for us because we need to get out of that freaking caravan before winter. But we also just need it to be just habitable for the grant. So there's a few questions around that. It needs to tick certain boxes of habitability, you know, watertight, warm, being able to wash, being able to cook in some way. It doesn't have to all be done or finished or up to kind of certain standards.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, when you see the scratch coat wall finish, you know, that's aesthetic, right? We don't need that to be a perfectly flat rendered wall for us to move in and for it to be considered habitable by the grant. So
yeah. So are we doing things a little bit back to front, like putting in white goods in the bathroom before tiling? Yes, but for those two reasons, to satisfy the grant and to just get us in here. And the other thing I was going to address is an entrance. Lots of people concerned about fire safety on our behalf. I love that you guys look out for us. It's not our only entrance. It will be the only entrance we use. We have a door, weirdly, watch the previous vlogs explaining the random layout of this place, into our bathroom, but we don't want to be bringing wet gear. Now that might sound like, why not? It's going to be a bathroom. But we don't want to be bringing muddy wet gear in and out of our beautiful new bathroom, do we?
No, it's not a porch, it's not a mudroom. So while we do have a second door there, we won't be using it very often. At
the moment, as you guys know, it's not tiled or finished in there anyway, so we'd have the same challenges of keeping it clean.
Well, also on the access and fire safety issues, like all of our windows fully open, so the entire aperture that the window's fitted in can be, you know, you can climb through.
Should we film a little segment of me trying to get in and out of this video? I think
it's a
this
good
video
idea.
in and out of this window.
Yes, we should film you getting in and out. Yeah.
It's making me think of when Winnie the Pooh gets stuck in that hole. So yeah, so don't worry about us for fire safety and things like that.
And actually, that's one of the other minimum requirements of the grant is that there's an expectation of fire alarms in the rooms.
Ah, do we have them?
We do.
Oh, there you go. See, sorted. So I hope that answers some of your questions. Thanks everybody who was either hitting that hype button last week or looking for it. Apparently it's near, I need to go and check for it myself. Somebody's like, I need a tutorial please. Apparently it's near the like button. I think if you don't see it, I think there's only a certain window of time that it can be used in. So if you don't see it, it might be that you're watching our video outside of that, say 48-hour window. What you could do, you could hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, then you'd be notified when our video goes live, then you could watch it sooner and hit the hype button, just a suggestion.
Like a pro.
I'm a YouTuber. But seriously though guys, we really appreciate,
It's cold in here, my nose is dripping.
Oh, we're into Cape Anne's drippy nose season. Like a wet dog's nose. Seriously guys, we really appreciate all of your support. We couldn't be doing this without them, I feel.
Thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for being involved in our little community.
Yeah.
We enjoy it and we appreciate you very much. So yeah, catch us next week.
See ya.
Professional and straight.
I think you should use your falsetto. Time for comment of the week. So much. So. You say it instead. I was just going to say I'm giddy on cake and I just realised I didn't even eat my cake yet. I don't know what my excuse is.
Giddy at the thought of cake.
Cake! It's getting me through. It's a good one. Did you eat it?
I have had it yesterday. It was great.
But I gave you a slice now.
Yeah, I haven't eaten it.
Oh, that's why you're giddy too. The anticipation of cake.
Yeah, this is my giddy face, can't tell.
Always so giddy. Stop being giddy.
Giddy at life. Yeah. Porch by any other name.
Porch by any other name.